How do you guys feel the team chemistry is so far, despite the record being 2-5 going into the bye week? How is everything kind of holding together in these moments?
I mean, I think it's good. I mean, obviously, we feel like we could be sitting here, play here or there. We could be sitting here forward, with a 4 win, but hey, it is what it is. Our guys have been fighting hard. I can't speak offensively, I just know defensively, but I mean, I see our offense. I mean, they're patting each other on the back. They're doing all the right things, but it's hard. We've lost some close ball games, and what we got to do, we got to learn how to close. And I thought after the game Saturday, walking around, there was a lot of guys that are, I mean, they're hurt, and we work our tails off, and they go out there and they want a different result, and it didn't happen. But and that's life. That's what we keep telling them. It's adversity. We just got to keep pushing through and fighting. But chemistry, I mean, it's there. I mean, I think we got a good group of young men in that locker room.
Coach Hamilton, the offensive line, from a quarterback protection standpoint, the protection's been there. I know Schuler took 3 sacks on Saturday against a really good EIU defense, but the quarterback's been standing up. Where do you guys find the extra step to get the running game opened up, just a shade more?
First, talking about, I'll go back to your first question if you don't mind. I think what kids want to see is progress. They're like coaches, and I think that we are, really strong. I think it's a really strong room because every week we can go in and everybody can point, everybody can look at the film and see progress. I think that rooms and teams become fractured when it feels like you just see the same thing every week, regardless of what's been going on in practice. So I think that that's been the key, is everybody committing to working hard and everybody committing to progress. And so when you see progress, that it's a little bit easier to stay positive. It's easier to stay together. As far as the offensive line and the running game, is, and this might be a weird way to describe it, but it's more of a dance. And the running back has to know how we're moving, and the running back has to know how the defense is going to react to our movement. And we're not great dance partners yet. It's something that we continue to work on. It's something, that obviously I really want to make sure gets going. But it's a confluence of things, and I got here in April and brought some new schemes, and we have a offensive line that's kind of been built from scratch. I mean, you have some guys that came back, but for the most part, nobody worked with the guy that next to them that they did last year consistently. And then you add new running backs into the mix, and it's like I said, we're just not great dance partners yet, but we're getting better. Last week was probably one of our better running performances, but it's definitely something that we talk about every day, is the importance of running the ball, the importance of protecting our defense, who's just an outstanding group, and so we need to be able to do that more efficiently in order to not be getting close, but to be finishing the deal. So.
Coach Boone, with the bye week coming, you get an extra week to kind of obviously heal your defense up and get them all healthy, but what things did you see Saturday that you can pinpoint going into the bye week and coming into EKU next week that you can work on and make better for that game?
I mean, we missed a lot of tackles. We made them look a lot, give credit to Eastern Illinois' running back and their coaching staff, but we missed some tackles where it was just guys in spots. And in this open week, I mean, we got 4 games left, and it's I want to go out and have spring ball mentality and go out and try to take to the ground. We got to figure out as coaches how to put our guys in situations, keep developing about tackling and the mentality it takes to get people down on the ground. But at the end of the day, I mean, we did some good things last week, but I was disappointed in some tackling things that we let get by us, and and it's our job as coaching staffs to put our players in position to make plays. And we had times where we had the backs corralled up, and we just didn't make it. And we got to do a better job of that as coaching staffs, getting them to understand where to be and how to get them down. But I love this group. I know I've said that before. I love the mentality of this group. They come to work every day. It's just like I said, at the snap of a finger, we could be sitting here 4 or 5 wins, and of course that's not moral victories. That's I'm tired of talking about moral victories. We're ready to go get one.
Coach, you were down 2 men last week. You had other players get extra reps because of that. How did they fill in? Because it looked like you guys didn't miss a beat in terms of that. They just stepped up, next man up, did their job. What's your take on that?
Well, Quincy Williams, he played 80 plays, or right at 85 plays Saturday. He was the biggest contributor we had to step up. He has started before and he has played in every game, but his role really expanded Saturday. Devon Witt was a young man that had played on special teams. He's another guy that had to step up some. Those two really had to come forward. Don Parker, true freshman, he got his first start and did some good things, but he did some freshman mistakes. But those are 3 guys that out of the safety group that stepped forward and answered the bell. And like I said, I could sit here and give you all the wrongs, but there's 3 positives. Just 3 guys that stepped up, and I thought they did a very, very exceptional job with it when we asked them to step up to make the plays, and they did.
You guys have forced 18 turnovers, 12 receptions, 6 fumbles recovered, and then 18 sacks on top of that. Are you surprised coming into this season that this unit has been so successful game in and game out?
Well, just turnovers is something that you do. Spring practice, fall camp. Every day during spring practice, if we don't get 3 turnovers a day, we run sprints. During fall camp, we run sprints. We don't create 3 turnovers. And offensive coaches, I know they like it. Like when our guys are around the pile, they're constantly ripping the ball. Mitch does a good job for us in pass scale. He lets us get our guys in position, and we don't collide in pass scale, but our guys are always we're constantly talking about creating turnovers, and that's you go in our team meeting room, the number 1 goal on defense is create turnovers, and that's what we want to do because it gives extra possessions to the offense. It's a momentum changer. Your program is built on not giving the ball up and creating turnovers, and I know offensively they're the same way. They don't want to give it up, so every day we go out to practice, that's where it starts. We try to create them. They're trying not to give them up, and we've had some good breaks. We've got guys in position this year, luckily, to get those turnovers going our way, and our kids know it. And you see them going after the ball. They do it at practice, and they're doing it during the ball games. So we just got to keep chopping and keep doing that.
Coach Hamilton, the last 2 weeks, the offense has really stepped up in the 4th quarter, making big plays. Just talk about the mentality of the not giving up, going full 60 minutes, and they're trying to get a niche of at the end is our time.
I think there's probably a couple different components to that. The first one is the defense does a great job getting us the ball back enough times. The second thing is by then their defense is tired. Typically when you see a team that plays with some tempo, you see them tired in the 3rd. That's when they start to break, and we haven't done a good enough job staying on the field to get them tired early in the second half. So I think that we're starting to see our 3rd quarter advantage pop up in the 4th. So I would attribute that. I would attribute the 4th quarter surge to typically being a second half surge, and we haven't done a good enough job staying on the field in order to get that advantage earlier. It's science. Everybody gets tired it's biology, and we haven't done a good enough job tiring people out. Once they're tired, that's when you get big plays, and that's and that's where we need to be, and that's what we keep working toward is becoming more efficient, being able to stay on the field, starting to see teams break late in the second quarter, let them regroup at half, start breaking them down again earlier in the third. But for us, it's been the fourth, and I think that's just a math science thing, to be honest with you.
Bouncing off that question, Coach Boone, Coach Empelman just said about getting the defense tired in the second half, but it doesn't seem like your defense is getting very exhausted out there as far as giving up. They're not giving up points. They're still holding strong like they do in the game normally. How are they being able to keep that energy from the first half and bring it over into the second half?
I'll always go back to practice. I always backtrack and go back. Tuesday and Wednesday, what we do at practice, we do like what we call tempo, to where we get within a 15-minute period, we get close to probably 50 plays, and that's hard to simulate defensively. But what we do a lot on barrels, and we ricochet off of that and do 11 on 11, and we go back and forth. I'd like to think our guys are in shape, and I just, we just constantly talk about being resilient on defense, and I think all the position coaches, Carrico Wright, Jake Johnson, and Kevin Park, man, they do a phenomenal job. Along with myself, we're just constantly trying to talk about mentality of never stopping, and that's all you can ask. Because Saturday, I know Coach Hamilton will tell you the same thing. It's 21-7. We hadn't had a lot of things go away, and the guys, that's the teams I love being a part of. Like I said, I'm tired of talking about the moral victories, but I love the effort and the attitude of a team like that won't stop, and they'll take the best punches, and they'll just keep coming. And I thought they did a phenomenal job on that on Saturday. And that's happened a couple of times this year, for us on probably both sides of the ball, and even in the kicking game, where young men, they just don't stop fighting. And that's all you can ask. As a coach, as a position coach, I think the biggest compliment you can give as a coach, the biggest compliment your players can give is that they play hard every snap. And if you can get your players to play hard every snap, you take the schematics, you take the scheme, you put it to the side, getting young men to play hard every snap, that's what it's about. And I couldn't be more proud of the effort that we had Saturday.
And to talk to that, about the team is, you brought up two numbers that were really interesting. You brought up that our defenses yielded 18 sacks, and we've done a really good job keeping the quarterback standing up. That's not by coincidence. Cam Carter had to grow up learning how to pass protect against Kenny Wooten and Step. When that's your look every day, you're going to get better. When you're Chris White and you've got to go against Bishop Woods and you've got to go against, you're going to get better every day. And I think that group in particular has benefited from working against each other. And just like, why is the defense tired? Well, when we're trying to snap the ball as fast as possible, that's forcing them to rotate and to play fast and to get lined up fast and to get a call fast. And, it's been great to see the growth. And like Coach keeps saying, it's just time now. That game was right there in reach. It's just time to take that step. We were fortunate enough to take that step at Martin. Again, they created a great turnover, and we did a good job of not messing it up, running the ball for 18 yards or whatever it was, and kicking a field goal. But I would say, any success that we've had as an offense has been, we've been pushed by and challenged by a really good defense. We don't put the ball on the ground often because that's what we see in practice. We don't give up many sacks because we see guys in practice that will get after you. So it's been a great thing to watch them grow, and now it's time to stop walking and to start running. And I know the boys want it as bad as we do, but I thought when I was thinking back on your question about sacks, that kind of struck me. That's not a coincidence.